Hi, my name is Chen and I'm a final year medical student from Monash University, Malaysia. Today, I'll be talking about obesity and weight loss. I have also invited a patient who are very successful in her weight loss journey to share her journey with you all. So, before looking into how we can tackle this issue, we should first understand what is obesity. Visualize how prevalent it is in our community in Malaysia, understand what causes it, and look at the consequences to both our body and our country if the issue is not resolved. So, what is obesity? Obesity is the excessive fat accumulation that may impair our health. So how do we diagnose obesity? For adults, the World Health Organization defines obesity as a BMI higher or equal to 30. BMI, which is Body Mass Index, is a simple index that is commonly used to classify overweight and obesity in adults. It is defined by person's weight in kilograms divided by the square of their height in meters. For example, if I weigh 50 kilograms and my height is 160 centimeters tall, the calculation would be 50 over 1.6 meters square, which makes it 19.5. Even though BMI provides the most useful measure for obesity and overweight, it should only be considered a rough guide because it may not correspond to the same degree of fatness in different individuals. So other measurements like waist-hip ratio should be considered during a detailed consultation with your doctor. Next, let's look at the prevalence of obesity. The prevalence of obesity has nearly tripled between the year 1975 and 2016. In 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults were overweight. Of this, over 650 million adults were obese. So overall, about 30% of the world adult population were obese in 2016. As for children and adolescents, approximately 120 million of them were living with obesity in 2016. However, with all this data being presented, more than 45% of people with obesity were not diagnosed and not managed. In Malaysia, which is our country, for an unfavored reason, according to WHO in 2019, Malaysia's prevalence in obesity is still sitting on top among Asia countries, with Brunei being the second and Thailand being the third. A statistic done in Malaysia in 2019 showed a rising trend in weight gain that 50.1% of adults were either overweight or obese. So what causes obesity? The fundamental cause of obesity is the imbalance between calories consumed and calories expended. Globally, there has been an increased intake of energy-dense foods that are high in fats and sugar, such as French fries and bubble tea. There is also an increase in physical inactivity due to the increasingly sedentary nature of many forms of work, changing mode of transportation, and increasing urbanization. So why do we bother looking into this issue, and what are the health consequences of obesity? Raised BMI is a major risk factor for many comorbidities. For example, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, fatty liver disease, osteoarthritis, and many more. And all this reduces the individual's life expectancy. So how about the impact to our country? Obesity has caused huge economic burden to our country. And the economic cost for obesity in Malaysia is the highest in Asian countries, which accounted for 13.3% of our total health cost in 2017, which is around 1.7 billion USD. So, how do we tackle obesity? I've invited a patient here to share her personal experience on her weight loss journey, so let's welcome her.
Hi, my name is Evelyn and now I'm currently working as an office girl. I used to be obese in 2018 and now I'm very proud to say that I'm in the normal BMI group. This was how I used to look like in 2018 when I was 73 kilograms. And this is my recent picture and I'm now 53 kilograms. This whole process took me 2.5 years to slim down. I used to have fast food almost 3 times a week, but changing my diet into healthy diet really speeded up this weight loss process. What I did was that I reduced my frequency of dining out and I tried to eat only whole food wherever possible. I also avoided processed food such as instant noodles. I used to count my calories in the beginning and make sure I eat around 300 to 500 calories less than what I'm supposed to eat every day. For physical activity, I used to have a very sedentary lifestyle because I work in an office, so I basically spend most of my time sitting down. And by the time I got home from work, I was already so exhausted that I didn't bother doing any exercise at all. I started exercising in around 2020 when my weight was stagnant at around 61 kg for half a year. I dragged my body to exercise at least 3 times a week for an hour per session, no matter how exhausted I am. And I'm still doing it now because I wish to maintain my current weight and stay healthy. For all the obese patients out there, I made it, so I'm sure you can make it too.
Thanks Evelyn for sharing her experience with us. So is it clear to you that weight loss can't be achieved in a day or two? You need to modify your diet, incorporate exercise, and do not give up. In the worst case scenario, when lifestyle changes can't work effectively, or when you have other conditions that makes your risk to develop other detrimental conditions higher, medication and surgery might be required. There are some FDA-approved medication for weight loss such as Orlistat, which is typically given for patients with BMI of 30 and above or 27 when they have weight-related risks such as diabetes or hypertension. But even having prescribed with medication, patients still need to stick to dietary changes and increase their physical activity. For surgery, which we call bariatric surgery, it is meant for patients with BMI higher than 40 or 35 with combination of other high-risk conditions. There are several procedures that can be done, but I hope none of you will require this, as simple lifestyle changes will really make huge changes to your weight. For your information, this video is a product of my literature review. This paper looked at the impact of educational video on patients' health and looked into some factors that would affect the effectiveness of the video, such as the types of video formats and the video length. The aim of this literature review is to produce a concept video on obesity to help you understand more on this health issue and help you arrive at a healthier lifestyle. I hope this video is useful and I hope you have learned something today. Thank you for watching, and do comment below if you have any questions. I will try my very best to address them.